In this video, I wanted to give you some tips for shopping with Instacart. I just finished up a quick 3-hour shift with Instacart, and I was thinking, what video should I make? And sometimes when you're making these videos or when you're doing stuff, just in general, you overlook the very simple things. Maybe somebody that's starting out with a job like this has never shopped before or isn't used to shopping. And I thought I'd just give some little tips on how to shop in a store that's going to keep the produce fresh, the ice cream from not melting, so on and so forth. So first, the Instacart app does organize what they say is the fastest and best route for you. It's hit or miss. Sometimes at Whole Foods, it's really, really good, but not every Whole Foods is set up the same, at least not in my area. In the other stores, it has me kind of jumping around because maybe there's a separate organic section, or maybe all the freezers, the open freezers, run along the backside and the downside so they can fill them from behind. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But anyways, first off, you got to remember, when you shop for yourself, you might not be as picky as the customer. They're paying for a service. So when you're picking out bananas, apples, peaches, pears, you want to make sure this produce is super fresh. Look at it. The app will give you some tips on how to pick the proper produce. If you're not sure on how to pick something up, maybe take the extra time to just hop on Google and check it out. For instance, if you're picking out an avocado, you want to squeeze it. It shouldn't be soft, but it should have a little bit of give. And if you take your thumb and gently push on the stem back and forth, the stem should wiggle, but it shouldn't be loose. And that's how you know you have an avocado that's just about ripe and good to purchase. There's all sorts of little tests like that you can learn about produce and picking the right vegetables and right fruits for your customer, so you want to check that out. Now, if you're in the dairy or meat section, these things are going to have expiration dates. Same with all the food's going to have expiration dates, but the ones that are the most important are the dairy and meat. So you think, oh, I'll just go to the back, and it's always the back. It's not always the back. Sometimes people are moving it, and they're always looking for the back. So it's getting readjusted. So everything will have a sell by and a drink by or an eat by date on it. You want to check these and you want to find the freshest, cleanest ones for your customer because obviously they're paying for a service. You want to get a good rating. You want them to have a good experience. They can tip, I think the app said, and I'm not sure because it just started, up to 3 days to tip. So they're going to go over this order and you want it to stay in their mind as a good experience for 3 days so they don't either take a tip away or if they need to add a tip, they had a pleasant experience and they remember it. The next thing is when you are going into the store, bring your bags with you. So if you have the grab bags like I recommended, I bring all mine in with me, and when I'm picking the meat, I put all the meat in one of the bags to keep it nice and cool. I put all the dairy in a bag to keep it nice and cool. I definitely put all the frozen foods and ice creams in another bag to keep it frozen. You want to try and pick the dry stuff first, the produce in the middle, and the frozen stuff at the end. But if you don't, the markets are usually cold enough that you can at least take anything in every order, but you should be getting your frozen stuff last and putting it in those bags. Then, once you check your order and everything, don't take a lot of time reviewing items. This is a mistake that I made in the beginning. I was texting back and forth with the customer. So there's a few things that'll happen. You're looking for an item and you can't find it. I have found that the people, especially when you're wearing your Instacart badge, the people in the store are so helpful helping you find stuff. But if they don't have it or you can't find it and you're sure that they don't have it and you're in the right section and you're looking at it. The other day I was supposed to pick up diet caffeine-free Pepsi, and they had regular diet Pepsi or they had caffeine-free non-diet Pepsi. And when I scanned it, it didn't give me either of those for an option. It wanted me to buy the 2 liters. I didn't know exactly what to do, so I did text the customer on that. But in general, I had another one for that customer. She wanted a vanilla spritzer. They didn't have the one flavor vanilla. When I said couldn't find it, the secondary choice for her was raspberry, which they did have. I scanned that replacement. You don't have to be nervous about these because they go into a review section and the customer has to look and approve them. So rather than bother the customer, then they can look at the review process. If they like the choice you picked, they accept it. If not, they'll ask for a refund. The one thing you don't want to do is pretend like you found something when you didn't and not give the customer a chance to review it. Example, if they ask for a generic store brand watermelon, say 2 pounds, and you found a more expensive organic name brand watermelon, both look the same, and you say, I'm just going to scan it. Says it doesn't scan, you take a picture and then just take it as if it was what they ordered. You can get in trouble for that. I wouldn't say in trouble, but they're going to give you a bad rating, especially if it's the other way around. If they ask for watermelon with a name brand and you gave them a store brand without doing it through the app. So you never want to force a replacement. You always want to make a replacement item that the customer gets to see and review. So at the end of a shopping list, I had a couple shopping lists that were about 40 items today. I had about 3 or 4 reviews, that's stuff that had to be switched out. Most of the time you hit review and the customer's already done it, and it'll say give them a call, or it'll say you don't have to call them. They've already reviewed it. What I'll actually do at that point is hit back, hit the bubble on the top right hand corner, and send them a quick text message. I do this when I'm done with my last item or right before I'm getting my last item, before I'm walking to the register. That way it gives them a couple of seconds to answer. If they don't answer right away, then maybe you'll have to call, but usually they answered for me. Then I hit OK, I go to checkout, and I'm all set. Now, another little thing that I did is I shop in the local area as well, and they have bonus points. The app will let you know if the customer has a card that they want to use and scan. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I found it's about 50-50. I have my own card, so I've been scanning my own card to give the customer the discounts, and then I get the points since they're not asking for the points by using their card. Then when I drop it off, I mention to them that they don't have a Stop and Shop card on file, and if they did, they could be getting bonus points even when using Instacart. This way the customer knows you tried to help them out. Next, if you can't find an item but you think they should have it, you can ask an employee to go in the back and check it out. And a lot of times they'll go in the back when they see you're an Instacart shopper, see if they have it. I had people do that for me today, and I also mentioned it in a text message to the app. I said, hey, they don't have this. I'm looking for some replacements, but I do have somebody looking in the back for it. Letting your customer knows that you did this lets them know you're going the extra mile. This is a tipping service, so the Instacart app is going to recommend anywhere between 5 or 10% based on your area for a tip. But people can tip more than that, and they often do. Last week, I think I made $330 total, and over 100 of that was in tips. So I'm making over 30% in tips through Instacart. So it really is a tip-based service industry. So if you're working well for the customer, and they really like it, and they're paying to get their groceries picked up, then they're going to give you a tip because it saves them a hassle. Most of the times that I've been shopping, there's been long lines, a lot of people. It's confusing. They probably don't want to end work and then go shopping, so they're having somebody do it for them. Which brings me to the next thing. When you get into line, most of the time they know you're from Instacart and they take special care of you. They don't always know that. But if you can just say, hello, I'm working with Instacart sorry for all the adjustments. I'm working for Instacart for my customer. If you could just please put the produce in one section, the frozen stuff in another bag, the meats in another bag, have them separate all the bags for you. And then I usually take the eggs separate. When I get to the door for the customer, I say, here are your eggs. I didn't want you to find them on your own because they could get broken. Here's your meat and frozen foods or your dairy. You want to put this in the fridge right away. And here's the rest of the material. Besides that, it's really just getting to learn the store so you're moving quickly, getting used to asking for help. I'll tell you, the Whole Foods people, the Stop and Shop people, the Shaw's people, all the people in my area, the employees for the top notch, so helpful, know where everything is. I've been able to run through most of the stuff. And then you get used to the store once you started doing it for a while. That's about all I could think about right now. What did I forget? Did I forget anything? Please comment below questions or concerns you may have about shopping. I think these are some pretty good tips that I left here. If I think of anything else, I'll make another video. Everybody have a good day.